NNF After Dark is brought to you by Sandpiper Vacations. For all of your vacation planning needs, visit www.sandpipervacations.com. Tell them that the No New Friends podcast sent you. Welcome to NNF After Dark. Chris is going to take you through the highlights of the previous episode and maybe even say some bad words, plus celebrity interviews and much, much more. And now, here he is, the scumbag reselling hoarder himself, Chris Yob.
Welcome back to another amazing episode of No New Friends After Dark, where we dig the hell into a parfait. Like, we are digging so hard and so far into this parfait that I thought a parfait, listen, a typical parfait has 3 layers. This one has like very, very many layers. We're like 8 layers deep, and we're getting deeper by the week.
You're so deep that we have no idea where you end and Nick begins.
I've been told that several times. I hope you enjoy this tonight's parfait. Tonight, dig into this parfait in the Sandpiper virtual studio is Scott from the No New Friends podcast.
Hey guys, I'm the guy who hosts the podcast.
And our very own emotional sport gay, Nick.
I'm back. I was gone last week.
You were gone. I missed you.
You know, you never texted us when you landed. And so I immediately turned on the news to see if you died or not.
Like any rational person.
Yeah. That'll make a lot more sense, that reference, Nick, when you listen to After Dark, the one that you missed.
Yeah. Please don't text us when you land. Like, we'll know. We will know if you don't make it. So that being said, the absence of you not doing something like texting us when you land leads me to a lot of thoughts. A lot of people think, since I own my own business, I don't work a lot. You know, I'm never working. I never do anything. And I'm sure you get that too. But it's not as funny when you make fun of you. So you never get the brunt of it. But
because
listen,
Nick actually works.
I do.
Listen, everyone's thinking it.
No one's thinking it.
Okay, maybe no one. Maybe 3 people.
Chris, you own a transportation company in which you don't drive. Nick actually does the work of the business.
I am handicapped.
I just travel.
I am handicapped.
You can't say that.
I can, because I'm handicapped. It's like I can say that. You can't say that. So it's acceptable for me to say it. Look it up.
All right.
I mean, it's true. Like, I do work, and my hours are all over the place. There are some travel agents that want to set those 9 to 5 hours. I'm very flexible with mine because I understand my clients can only talk to me at nighttime because they have a full-time job or on the weekends. So I'm very flexible with my schedule. Even my mom asked me too. She's like, "So what exactly do you do? Like, besides just
what would you say you do here?
What would you say?" And it's not just booking a trip. It's doing the research, doing trainings all the time. I was on literally 3 Zoom calls today at the same time. I had 2 screens up here. I had my phone down here. One was for Virgin Voyages, one for Royal Caribbean, one for a social media thing. So.
And one where he was just showing Chris's penis.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say you were at least on 4 different Zoom calls.
Forgot about that one because we didn't record that this time. So next time, content.
Couldn't afford it today. I'm sorry. Maybe next week.
So there's always something going on. There's always trainings that I can be doing, as well as working with my clients. And 2 weeks ago, I got a phone call at 10 in the morning from somebody from Virgin Voyages letting me know that.
Hold on, Nick. Chris. 10 in the morning is 2 hours before noon. A lot of us are,
already awake
on our 3rd or 4th coffee. We've been awake for a couple hours.
That sounds nice. Wow. I'll have to try it sometime. Yeah. Thank you.
So I got a call from Virgin Voyages from a regional manager, basically. So I have really good contacts with a lot of my suppliers, where I have a great relationship with Disney, where I have a phone call once a month with my contact with Disney. He keeps me updated on what's coming out with Disney and different marketing strategies with them. So this one was an unfortunate phone call from Virgin to let me know in advance that there's going to be a lot of changes to some of my clients' sailings. And because I'm a really big salesperson with Virgin, as we talked about previously, I was not to brag, but I was the top 10 in my region for Virgin Voyage sales. But they're letting me know that unfortunately, one of their newest ships that was supposed to launch at the end of this year is
hit an iceberg.
Hit an iceberg, and it's delayed a little bit. So,
Damn it.
so they had to cancel that ship sailing. So because of that, they decided to change the itineraries of all 3 of their cruise ships that they have out right now.
So Nick, can I ask you a question about that? Okay, so so you don't have anyone to blame. I mean, obviously you blame Virgin, right? Because that's what happened. But like, you're the person who booked these person's vacations. How do you not just crawl into a little ball and just go to sleep for the day? That's a hard conversation to have.
I did.
With clients.
So after all this happened, and that's where my anxiety kicked in too. So I get this message that in about 2 hours time, my clients would be getting an email saying their cruise has been canceled, that they've been planning for 6 months or a year. And Virgin had some really good strategy to let my clients rebook a sailing on a different cruise. Basically, they would price match the cruise. So my clients go from a 5-night sailing to an 8-night sailing, and it's going to be the same price.
Oh.
So, and they were throwing in like $600 onboard credit. So they had really good stuff to go with it to rebook, to encourage my clients to rebook. But it's just that initial letdown of tell my clients that their vacation plans might have changed, and not everybody's flexible with vacations too. Some people can only take it during spring break. I have a lot of teacher clients. My own personal sailing was canceled. So for me, it sucked because I had a large group of about 12 cabins planning to go again on this big trip. As you saw this last time, we had a big party. We had a suite and everything.
And you don't get the vacation much. This was probably devastating.
Yeah, I've not been on a cruise in 3 months, so I'm like, geez, I can't believe this is happening. So I get this email, and then all the emails come in about 2 hours later saying all these cruises are canceled. In the meantime, I'm very proactive. I message all my clients, giving them a heads up, like, hey, you're going to be receiving an email from Virgin. I just want to let you know a little bit about what I know already. So they kind of gave me a little background behind things, gave me a little story on what I can do to rebook my clients. But I did let them know ahead of time, at least. A lot of other travel agencies didn't have that privilege because they didn't have that relationship with Virgin like I have. So it was great for me to have a heads up on it and not be blindsided like some of my clients were.
Sure.
So yeah, it was kind of devastating, and this literally happened 2 days before I was leaving for my own personal vacation. I'm like, great, I have 20 or 30 clients that I need to rebook their cruise, their vacation. So it was mass chaos, and like you said, that day, my mind went into mental shutdown. I literally, I was messaging Sean, letting him know what's happening. I didn't want to see the messages from my clients. I didn't want to see how devastated they were that their vacation might be ruined. And luckily I had some really amazing clients that were like, it's fine, we'll make something work. Let's look at different dates and all that. And then I had a client today, which we'll talk about in a little bit too, that this basically ruined her honeymoon. This was this was her honeymoon. And on top of it being her honeymoon, it's her 10th anniversary. This is the first honeymoon they were able to take because they didn't have the money 10 years ago, and they had kids and this and that. So life gets in the way, and not everybody's as lucky to travel as much as I do, or as Chris does on his Royal Caribbean cruises the past couple years now. And some people, these cruises are once in a lifetime opportunity. So
literally.
So it was pretty devastating, and it was very hard for me mentally. The past 2 weeks now that this has happened, I left on my vacation a couple days later to California, and while I'm traveling, I'm literally on the airplane, checking my emails, doing what I can to continue working to make sure my clients get rebooked on a cruise and get them booked as fast as possible. That way, all that mess is out of the way. I don't want to leave on my vacation and not leave them hanging. I don't want to leave them all hanging for a week too. So I spent a lot of time on this trip on my computer or on my phone. So
because also the other side of this too is obviously, like your number one priority is making sure your clients have the best experience and get to where they need to be and are happy. But this is also your livelihood. So I imagine that this was also, so it's double
Yeah.
stress because now you have the emotional side, but you also have the financial side, because how many, you get this email and thinking, oh my gosh, how many people are actually going to cancel this
Exactly.
vacation?
Yeah, because
too.
I don't get paid unless my clients travel. And
Right.
if all these cruises are canceled, I had that flashback of COVID again. When COVID happened, a lot of travel agencies went out of business because our business is travel. Our business is when a client takes that trip, and they couldn't take a trip for 2 to 5 years almost now. So,
Oh man. Now, out of all the bookings that you had for this Virgin cruise, what was your percentage of rebookings for new cruises?
so far everybody has rebooked except for one. I have a couple that I'm still waiting to figure out what they're doing. So at least everybody has rebooked and figured something else out. So
Thank
I'm
goodness.
very lucky, and I feel like I did a good job letting them know, like, they're making bank on this. Like, if I was letting my clients know too. I'm
absolutely.
like, you were booked on a 4-day cruise, you can take a 14-day cruise right now for the same exact price. So we have a couple
That is crazy.
clients that rebooked a 4-night Caribbean cruise, booked a 7-night European cruise. I had one rebook a 14-night transatlantic cruise out of it. So she's basically making
Wow.
money on it, and on top of it, Virgin was adding money too. So go ahead, Scott.
And I'm going to interrupt real quick because you're trying to kind of share what you went through and all that, but this is exactly why we tell everybody use a travel agent, because if you do this yourself and your cruise gets canceled, you don't know if things are happening the right way. That cruise line's probably going to just try to give you a credit for a year down the road. Nick's going to try to find you an alternative, and this is why it's so important. And I didn't even know this existed until we developed our relationship. I mean, I knew travel agents were, I just thought it was a scam. I didn't know it was like,
Me too. Yeah,
like
100%.
I thought they were going to draw some circles and get me to sign up, and it was another Ponzi scheme.
Yeah, like a timeshare.
Timeshare. Yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
Yeah, and that's exactly what I try to explain to my clients. Like, there's a million reasons why you should use a travel advisor. Like we've said before, it doesn't cost anything. You can book through somebody else right now. I just want to make sure that people understand the reasoning why you should use a travel advisor, because we have these relationships with our suppliers. I was able to not only get my clients rebooked faster than they would have done by themselves. I was on the phone today for an hour and a half for one client, and
Wow.
part of my struggle with that today is just it was constant letdown for my client. She's the one that, like I said, she planned this around her anniversary date, their 10-year anniversary, to go on their honeymoon. It's the first time that they're able to take a honeymoon, so she was let down that the fact that their sailing was canceled. So when we went to rebook it on a different date, Virgin was matching, basically price matching, so she could stay in the same cabin for the same price no matter the length of the cruise. Otherwise, if it was cheaper, the price, they would give you the refund. So when we went to rebook it, unfortunately, the cabin type she was booked at originally wasn't available, so she had to downgrade. So that was just another letdown for my client, unfortunately. And I talked her off the ledge with that. She was on the verge of canceling. She was very upset with Virgin, the way they handled it. I'm upset as well too, but it's a brand that I do. I told her, I'm like, once you get on board, all those fears go away, all the issues go away. It's technology issues right now, so. I don't even want to know what you're laughing at, Scott.
Continue, please.
So she had to downgrade. Unfortunately, she got some money back, and just basically explained to her what had happened. So when she got the confirmation email today, she noticed that the confirmation email said that her final payment was due in 3 days. Originally, her final payment was due in November. So
wow.
Huge difference. So she's freaking out now again because she's like, I don't have the money to pay for this trip. I wasn't planning to pay it until November. Technically, it should be 120 days before the cruise sets sail. So I'm trying to figure out what's happening. I called Virgin. It was a very stressful phone call. The girl on the phone wasn't understanding me right away, and she's like, no, you have this extra promotion that you put on there. And I'm like, no, I didn't put that there. So of course I asked to speak to a supervisor because I was getting nowhere. And after an hour and a half, like going back and forth, this guy is basically trying to tell me that she actually owes more money than what the invoice says. And I wasn't going to let that. I wasn't going to let that go. All the emails I had the exact price on it that she was supposed to be paying. And for some reason in the back end of their system, it was calculating things wrong. I basically told the supervisor to escalate it to somebody else at this point. So in the meantime, I'm also emailing my contacts from Virgin. I'm like, I need help, fix this. In the end, he ended up making the price right, fixed everything on that end. And then another issue happened too. She realized that this Splash of Romance package that Virgin offers got canceled because they were sold out. So she basically had 3 different issues with this cruise line. And I love Virgin. They're a great brand. They're a great cruise line. It's just the way things were handled were very stressful for me today. I shut down after that. So that's where my day just kind of went to hell in a handbasket.
Yeah, well, listen. First of all, did you contact her spouse and say, "Hey, listen, if you're so interested in the Splash of Romance, I have some suggestions."
You son of a bitch.
You can cut that, Scott. You can cut that. I'll restart. Nick, that being said, with the stress, like everyone thinks owning your own business is all great. Oh, you get this, you get that, you get this, you make your own hours. But like when stuff happens like this, there is no one else to put the blame on. Obviously, yes, Virgin is the perpetrator of all this stress, but you have to take the brunt of that stress. Like it is you. And there are a lot of stressful stories in my day-to-day that I've not told on this podcast, and I'd love to tell the stories in the future. But there is stuff like, it's like when some of this stuff happens, like, how am I going to recover from this? Like, how am I going to deal with this? And thank goodness most of the time this stuff works out. And that's what I got to always remind myself. Like me and my dad have dealt with some horrible, horrible situations. And I said, you just got to look back and like, hey, like we made it out all these other times. And like when shit hits the fan, like what happened with you this week, it's like, you know what, now, if nothing else super, super stressful like this has happened to you before, now I can look back and be like, you know what, the next time something comes up, I've been there. You know, this sucks. There's nothing that can sugarcoat it. This sucks, but I made it through that time. I'm going to make it through this time. Was this the most stressful moment in your business's history so far, or has there been something
Sadly,
else?
no. I mean, it's happened multiple times with other instances. I actually just had a client return from Punta Cana. It was actually one of Scott's coworkers, and ran into quite a few issues before the trip happened because they were looking for an accessible room, and the way that those resorts are laid out, it's not as easy to find an accessible room as it is in the United States. So multiple issues here and there. A lot of times I have very minor things that it's a quick, easy fix. My clients don't even know that it's happening. Like there could have been something with your trip, and I a lot of times don't even let my clients know about it. So
yeah, like your response to me when I told you that, you know, I booked this vacation, I said, you know, and then, you know, a couple weeks before I tear my Achilles, your response to me was very just to
wait,
the
you
point.
tore your
You said,
Achilles?
I'll tell you. Yeah, I will tell you.
I
About
had
that
no
when
idea.
I tell the whole story. Well, I know I haven't told the story. I know you guys have some inkling of an idea with the crutches in the background, and everything. But when I did reach out to Nick and say that, you know, my vacation 2 weeks, I did tear my Achilles. His response was short and sweet and just was very reassuring. He just said, "Fuck you, good luck."
Yeah, good luck.
And,
I'm no longer your travel agent.
I had a great vacation. So yeah, he's just very upfront.
Yeah, there's a lot of things I do.
Every time I sat in that, I just wanted to let you know. Every time I sat on that shower stool that you requested for my room, I thought of you.
I love it. I love it.
Shocking.
Yeah, and it's a lot of times it's minor things that I'm calling about to get fixed. Like maybe their name was spelled wrong because they sent me not their full legal name, and the cruise lines require your whatever is listed on your passport, essentially. So there's those little things here and there that
Here's a question about that. So Oh God, this is giving away some personal information. My wife has not changed she has not legally changed her last name, nor is she going to.
She's not sure. She's not sure.
She's not
She's
sure.
still debating this.
Exactly. No, it's more of a, she's very well known in her industry, and for professional reasons won't change. Anyway, so when she would always book our vacations. So, okay, we go through you book the vacations. It's probably going to go under her credit card. Let's be honest. So now am I Mr. her last name for the rest of the trip, or can you help me out and say, no, they want to be referred to as Mr. and Mrs. Maffei?
Well, I wouldn't use that last name if I were you. So I'd probably I don't even know what her last name is, but I'd probably take it. So yeah, and that's what I do too, especially working with resorts, like all-inclusive resorts, where I'll send a request into the resort about a week in advance of my client is celebrating their anniversary or their honeymoon. They want to be referred to as Mrs. and Mrs. or Mr. Scott. I don't know, whatever you want to be called. Just Mr. Scott.
Good, yeah.
Mr. Scott. Mr. Scott.
Mr. and Mrs. Scott.
So I'll send in requests and stuff like that to the resorts, so that they have that information prepared ahead of time. And when my client just checked in, that's Scott knows here. They were noted on the reservation that the travel agent helped get their room upgraded. So so I was able to get the room upgraded because the resort made an issue and told me misinformation multiple times. And I keep those receipts too. I'm a gay guy. I always have receipts.
So we talked about the bad of Virgin Airlines. Do they even still have an airline?
They have Virgin Atlantic and Virgin Australia,
so
but not in the
planes,
not in the United States anymore. But they
had Virgin everything. They had like Virgin phones and but we talked about like the bad, obviously. Yeah, spaceship. Yeah, that's right too.
Women.
We talk about the bad, but obviously Virgin is an amazing cruise line, and I've seen that from your post. But have you ever seen the movie Rocket Man?
I've not seen it yet, actually.
What?
Okay, so
super gay movie.
Yeah. So Scott, you're gonna understand where I'm coming from with this, and maybe Nick from experience will understand. There's a scene in Rocket Man where there's just this giant orgy. Couple hundred people.
It's your favorite cinematic scene of all time.
Yeah, just a good old orgy. I guess you can't answer this because I did want to know if I feel like the minute you step on Virgin Cruise Line, that's just your experience. It's just this giant orgy.
Kind of.
Can you confirm or deny this?
I played the fifth.
But
my cabin number is.
When we get back, we're going to dive more into the sexual aspects of Nick's visit with Scott. So we'll be right back with No New Friends After Dark. There are 3 things that I hate in life: taxes, nausea, and booking vacations. The first 2 I'm stuck with, but for the third, I use Sandpiper Vacations. Sandpiper Vacations is a small business that is LGBTQ+ owned and operated with travel advisors all over the country. Whether it's a cruise, a trip to a theme park, or an all-inclusive resort, Sandpiper has you covered. Oh, and I forgot to mention, it's free. Why book a vacation when you can have someone else do it for you? That's like choosing to take the stairs in a building that has an elevator. Leave the headaches of booking a vacation to someone else. Get your quote today at www.sandpipervacations.com and tell them that the No New Friends podcast sent you.
Psst. Hey, you want to join a cult? Well, this might be your lucky day. For just $2 a month and a simple blood oath, you can join our clubhouse and become a friend with benefits. In addition to the amazing feeling of donating to the poor, you will have access to Patreon exclusive content, live shows, and maybe even a behind-the-scenes look at my secret stash. To get started, head on over to nonewfriendspodcast.com and hit join our clubhouse. Can't wait to see you at the initiation ceremony. Oh, and in the chat during our live shows, of course.
wow, you're still here. So you're a pervert, just like me, and not like me, more like Scott. Because we were talking about Scott before we went to break. We talked about your sexual encounters. We're going to get more into that this segment. So if people are still here, they're interested. So Nick, please don't let them down. How? We'll get to that maybe a little later in the episode. But I'm dying to hear about your Coast to Ghost tour. Because I want to hear both aspects. I want to hear the which one was better, Disneyland's or Disney World's, and I want to hear how Universal Hollywood was, because not a lot of people go there. I feel like.
Yeah. So. Talking on the Disney portion first. So Disney has a Halloween party called Oogie Boogie Bash, and it's at Disneyland California Adventure Park. That event started a few years ago. It's not super old, but it sells out every single year. It sold out this year in like 5 hours. So we were very lucky to get tickets. I wasn't planning to get tickets, and I just saw the date, and I'm like, well, Sean's on vacation that week, so let's head out there. And then Disney World has what's called Mickey's Not So Scary.
Chris, a vacation is what us people who work take a couple times a year, where we don't have to work and we use benefit hours that we've accrued throughout the year.
You mean you take time away from working
and we get paid?
That's like it's like a Tuesday, right?
Okay. It's every day for him. So Walt Disney World has what's called Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party. So both of these events are an after-hours event. So it's a separately ticketed event. It's not open to regular daytime park guests. So basically what happens is we get to the park.
Do they say a lot of bad words like what we do on our after-hours?
No.
Okay.
It's...
Really?
Even like the Sanderson sisters changed Sword Hell to Heck. So...
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
Stupid
Things.
woke.
No.
Liberal.
Crazy Disney people. So these are after hours parties that basically it's a limited people in there, so it's not as crazy as it is during our normal park day. So it's not 8-hour long wait times to get a churro.
Oh wow, they restrict the people that come there. It sounds like your neighborhood.
I would love to go to Not So Scary or Mickey's. I've never been to Not So Scary, and I've never been to Mickey's Christmas thing. And now they've got the Jollywood thing, this brand new thing. It's as expensive as a single day ticket.
It's more expensive than a single day.
It's more expensive, less time.
Less time.
Yep.
So the event ran, both of them ran about 4 to 5 hours long, I think, but they let you into the park a few hours before that. So you're in the park a few hours before that with the daytime guests, where you're mingling.
You can't go in
the mouth
Of
breathers.
the day, Nick.
Just say it. The mouth breathers.
So when you get a Mickey's Not So Scary or the Oogie Boogie Bash ticket, you can't go in the morning. Like you have to go in at.
Is there like a stay and chuckle section where if you're an annual pass holder or you've got a day ticket for that day?
So it's not like at Halloween Horror Nights, which we can talk about that mess of how they transition from day to night. Mickey's Not So Scary and Oogie Boogie, basically you get a wristband, and starting at 6 o'clock, they start checking wristbands. If you don't have a wristband, you basically have to exit the park. So they start kicking people out during that time frame. So it's about an hour time frame where they're transitioning from daytime to Halloween party. So my favorite things, Oogie Boogie is completely different than Walt Disney World's, which is awesome to have the two differences. It did have an awesome parade, which is really good. What they do for their trick-or-treat zones is really cool. So you go through these trick-or-treat zones, and there's basically 5 stops for candy. But it's not just the same candy. You get like M&Ms at one stop. Next stop, you get a Reese's, or not a Reese's.
So pretty much
Rice
this is an
treat.
extremely expensive trick-or-treating party with some
we got
outdated shows and then rides.
Well, we got 50 pounds of candy that we brought home. So we're passing it out for trick-or-treat this year.
50 pounds?
My suitcase
They give you
was
that much?
So Disneyland gives you a lot more than Disney World. Yeah.
Really?
Because they've got... Before SeaWorld started doing Hallow Scream, they did God, I forget what it was called. Like it was a Halloween event where they had trick or treat.
It was just called Blackfish.
It was Shamu's Spooktacular or something. I forget what it was called, but like they give you 1 or 2 pieces of candy, and they have like 12 stations, but you get like 2 pieces of candy, and they're just not even that good. It's not the chocolate or anything. It's like the banana Starburst. And it's like,
Yeah, and so you're not allowed to say that anymore. It's probably
that's like at Disney World at Make It Not So Scary. You just have a trick or treat stop, and it basically has one little stop, and they give you 2 little pieces of candy. At Disneyland, they have 5 different stops in the line, but what's really cool is they bring out characters that you never see. All these like villains. So
that's cool.
So you got to see Wanda.
Like Ron DeSantis.
Wanda from, or not Wanda. Was it Wanda?
Scarlet Witch.
Oh, Wanda Maximoff?
From WandaVision.
Wanda Maximoff.
Agatha.
Wanda.
No, Agatha.
Oh, wow.
So she was
That's
there.
cool.
Sid from Toy Story they bring out, which is a really fun, weird character. They had the guy from Roger Rabbit this year, which is new.
Dr. something.
And this is where I don't know people.
Doom something. Christopher Lloyd.
Sounds right.
Yeah.
It's like Dr. Doom.
So these really amazing actors, and they're all face actors.
Cool.
They're not
Judge
characters.
Doom.
So
Judge Doom was his name.
Okay. So you're walking through the line, and they're kind of interacting. You can stay and kind of interact with them a little bit.
Sean is hot pissed off right now because he doesn't know his Marvel characters. This Agatha, you hot mess.
I'm impressed you knew the show.
I was there for the candy, let's be honest.
Yeah.
And while we're on the candy topic, so like I said, Disneyland, they had like 5 different candy stops in these lines. So the first candy stop, you got your M&Ms. The second one was like Rice Krispie treats. The third one was carrots.
What?
Wait, what? That's the most California thing I've ever heard in my
That's
life.
the most Disney thing ever because like 50% of their meals have to be like, or their snacks or whatever have to be Mickey approved.
Gavin Newsom's like, listen, you can open because of COVID, but you better get out.
Like, they didn't pass out any dip or anything like that. I'm like, I don't want just cold carrots.
No,
It's like choking on carrots.
they
like
pass
walking
out the
through
dip here in
park.
Florida. The skull dip.
That's different kind of dip. Basically, Sean said Madam Mim, Cruella had a spot too, but it was a really awesome Cruella from like the more like the live action movie Cruella.
Like Glenn Close.
Emma Stone was there?
It was her.
Wait, Emma Stone or Glenn Close?
Wow.
Emma Stone.
Okay.
More of that version. It was more the fashionista younger.
So the hot what you call it? The hot Cruella.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
There's a guy from Big Hero 6 as well too. So definitely cool aspect in that part. They didn't have the nighttime show like the fireworks like they do at Walt Disney World, which is really awesome. It's one of my favorite fireworks. What else at Disneyland? And then the food. So they have all this themed food too. And Disneyland,
the best
Disneyland definitely does better on their food, especially when it comes to special holiday events too. So we had tons of great churros and sandwiches and cocktails, everything. So
Did you have a mint julep?
no, that's at the other park.
I heard they're really popular at
They have
Disneyland, right?
that's at regular Disneyland Park. They didn't have those over there.
Gotcha. How was Avengers Campus?
It was really, they had almost every single character out there for meet and greets too.
Wow.
So that's what's awesome too, is they bring out the characters, and it's not like Disney World is has characters, but they're hidden. Disneyland, the characters are like out in full force everywhere, and they have everybody from Thor to Spider-Man to Iron Man, like everybody was out. So it was
That's
awesome.
a lot of comic book names you just named, Nick.
Thank
I'm very
you.
proud of you.
I learned I learned a little something on that trip.
You have it written on your hand?
Sean's sliding me notes right now. He's like, don't make me look bad.
They had America Boy there. They had. Did they have Zombie Captain America there this year?
No,
He doesn't know
I
who
don't think so.
Zombie
No, 'cause
Captain
I know
America
when-
is.
Oh, he looks like it has like the Puerto Rican flag on his chest, and he has a shield.
Yeah.
I'll send you pictures later between the other
but
photos.
Tell Sean he's not allowed to use metal straws either.
No, that's the dog right now.
The dog's drinking that out of straws. I mean, your household is
Sean
unhinged.
had this bright idea of getting ceramic bowls, and it's right next to me.
It's all right. Scott probably has like Yeti bowls.
It's our blind deaf dog. It's fine. She found it.
We have a water dispenser that's delivered once a week for our dogs.
I'm
Hey, Culligan man. No,
no. So
No, I'm not your age.
I guess so. I guess that was like a '90s thing. Everybody had Culligan water.
yeah.
I'm sorry, I never heard of that.
I live in Ohio. We actually have good water, unlike Florida. But my favorite thing that I want to say is Disneyland definitely does it better when it comes to their attractions. The overlays that Disneyland does is just insane. Like Disney World does.
No,
they brought
overlays.
out no.
The minimum.
They brought out pirates to do like a pirate band in Pirates of the Caribbean area. Last year they had live pirates inside the ride, which was cooler.
Oh, wow. Like they got real like Somalian pirates.
Yeah, they just everybody needs a job, Chris.
Good for them. That's
But
very inclusive.
Disneyland, like the Haunted Mansion, does the entire makeover to do the Nightmare Before Christmas. But at Disneyland California for Oogie Boogie, they had the Guardians of the Galaxy Mission Breakout, which is a former Tower of Terror. They turned it into a Halloween edition, essentially at nighttime.
Oh, that's right.
So
Were you able to ride that?
So it was really awesome.
Wow.
Super fun.
And it's only available at night,
Yeah,
too.
it's called
heard.
Monsters After Dark on that one.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So in the entire Cars Land, like Cars Land is the best theming. They decorate the entire lands with Halloween. They have like a little ritual where they turn all the lights on. It was just truly a magical experience. So definitely Disneyland outdid Disney World with it. And like Scott said, those ticket prices they're up there. It's sad that they charge that much, unfortunately, but highly recommend if you can do Oogie Boogie Bash, do it. Even Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party, definitely check it out at least one time. It's an awesome opportunity to hop on the rides with literally 5-minute waits for Space Mountain. So.
And if no one knows what you're talking about, but they're interested, how could they ever book a vacation if they didn't know what?
Oh my gosh! Well, thank you for asking that. So I actually own a travel agency.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
We are a gay-owned and operated travel agency.
This is as
breaking news.
You're gay?
breaking.
This
breaking
is all
news.
as shocking as Chris rupturing his Achilles.
Did I tell you that story yet?
No.
A couple times.
I haven't heard it yet. So yeah, you can contact me at sandpipervacations.com or anywhere on social media at sandpipervacations to book a free. Well, the trip's not free; you have to pay for the trip, but free services. Yeah,
Wow. I thought you were like played Sims or something. I had no idea this whole
This is a
episode
real-
was you talking about your actual
this is
business.
a real trip, a real company. We're legit. I have an
Wow.
LLC.
No.
I pay
Wow.
taxes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that
it's
doesn't
awesome.
mean anything. We
Oh
have
my
an
God.
LLC,
Yeah.
Chris.
Oh, yeah.
Now, Nick, did you? So you went to Universal Hollywood. Did you go to Horror Nights at Universal Hollywood?
No, we decided not to do Horror Nights out there just because the theming of the houses were exactly the same as they were in Orlando.
Right.
So we didn't feel it was going to be any beneficial for us to do Halloween Horror Nights out there. But we did go to Universal Hollywood, which was our first time out there. Not a lot of people talk about Universal Hollywood, but
Which is funny. That's the original Universal park.
right. And they have all the live studios there and everything. But what recently happened at Universal Hollywood that is bringing more business to them is they brought in a brand new land they just built last year. I don't even remember anymore what year it is. Super Nintendo World.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. You
Yeah,
got to
we're
see
getting
that.
it in Orlando, but it's not going in either of the two current parks. It's going in the new Epic Universe park.
Yeah, so that land it's going to be a lot bigger in Orlando at least because it's a very small area, but it's a really awesome theme. I felt like I was in the video game. So as a Super Mario fan when I was a kid and still as an adult, like you literally get wristbands and you can go power up and play games, and you have to get there's certain games that you get a key, and if you get all 3 keys, you get to go into Bowser's castle and fight him and stuff like that.
Are you serious? Like it's that interactive?
Yeah. Like we
essentially
had to walk up to this guy, and I'm like, how do I get up there? He's like, you have to collect all 3 keys. And I'm like, opening my app. I'm like, we're missing one, so we had to get it. So
essentially, Chris, Super Nintendo Land is what Galaxy's Edge was supposed to be.
Oh,
like,
wow.
Like Galaxy's Edge fell short of the interactive piece that it was supposed to be because it's so goddamn confusing. Super Nintendo Land, they capitalized on the mistakes.
That's amazing.
They crush it. So yeah, you can buy a $40 wristband that you use one time. And now it's sitting now it's sitting on a shelf.
Gladly.
But, it was totally worth it. We had so much fun with that. And then they also have one ride in there, and it's literally Mario Kart. But what's cool?
How is Mario Kart?
If you watch it on YouTube, go watch it. It's you don't get the same effect and feeling with that,
really,
because it looks slower. You expect Mario Kart that you're going really fast. The cars move really slow, but you feel like you're going fast because you're wearing these goggles that are virtual reality goggles. But you also
they're virtual reality goggles.
Yeah, so it's VR headsets, but you can also see what's in front of you. So you see the set pieces and everything. But it's really weird. So you're actually pressing buttons on your
augmented reality. Is what it is.
You ever think about like stealing one for porn? Sorry, cut that.
Yeah, because virtual reality is what like puts you completely in that scene, whereas augmented reality keeps you in where you're at. But it's
technology.
I know. I'm sorry.
Well, and I also was a little high the second time we rode it, which I highly, pun intended, recommend riding it while you're high, because once you're going on Rainbow Road while you're stoned is very magical and scary at the same time.
Isn't that where you live?
Rainbow Road, yeah. How'd you know?
How'd you know? That's where I send all your mail. Yeah.
But it's an amazing ride. Like I said, like you literally feel like you're shooting turtle shells at people, and there's stuff that's making you feel like you're spinning from sliding on a banana peel, and it might have been the drugs. I don't know, but
like none of that's in the ride actually.
Awesome. It's in California. I love that that part of it. Everything else in California, as far as Universal goes, was it's a very small park. It's very weird laid out because it's on a hill basically.
There's an escalator to get up to
there's four
levels,
escalators. So they have the lower level and the upper level. There's 4 escalators to get down to the bottom. So by the time we got down there, and we did the studio tour, which is really cool to do because the studio tour takes you by the live action studios where they're filming sets if they weren't on strike right now. So we didn't get to see any of that.
That's right.
So head over East Coast to Universal Studios in Orlando. We did have the opportunity to meet up with Scott here.
I'm sorry about that.
As well as his daughter, and met his son as well too. And we got to the park early, did a couple rides. Velocicoaster there is truly an incredible experience. Like I said, I felt like we were upside down for like 5 minutes on that.
Honestly, it's probably one of the best roller coasters I've ever been on.
Yeah.
It's
that good,
that good. It's so smooth and like you feel like you're coming out of your seat. Like Remy being afraid to ride it because he thought he was going to fall out. Like that's a legitimate fear at times.
Yeah.
Not funny anymore.
Well, especially because it flips you upside down right above the water, and I feel like I could have touched water.
Yeah. It has you upside down. Like it's not these quick, corkscrews or the Cobra rolls that you're used to or whatever. It's okay, we're going to come down and then we're going to flip you real quick, but we're going to keep you like that for a good, what seems
as long
like
as
30 seconds. It's probably 3 seconds, but it's long. As long as physics will allow.
She didn't say that, did she, Scott?
No, stop.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
Scott, Nick. Not
sorry.
Scott.
So after that, we all went over to the Universal side for the Halloween Horror Nights there, which if you're not familiar with Halloween Horror Nights, basically Universal owns the rights or gets the rights to tons of different horror movies sets and create these massive haunted houses that you can walk through. So there's 10 houses there. We got the express pass.
Nick.
Highly recommend that. Yes, sir.
Have you been to this
I have
event
not.
before?
So this was
Okay, I was
Yeah.
going to ask you how it compared to other years, but so first impressions. Then,
yeah.
I
So
guess.
this is our first year, and it's yes and no on that because I wanted to go in to be scared. I was expecting haunted
Right.
houses to be scared. The haunted houses that you go to here, we kind of discuss. They kind of separate you when you go into the house. So when you're in line, they
Mhm.
like let a group of 10 in and then wait a couple seconds and then let another group of 10 in and this and that. With Halloween Horror Nights, there's just so many people, as Scott said too, that they have to let everybody in to continue these lines. Otherwise,
they
it would have
snake
been
the house.
a 10-hour wait.
You have to, yeah.
Oh, I see.
So it's unfortunate because you kind of see those people ahead of time, those jump scares.
I gotcha.
Before it happens, depending on where you're at in the line. So I didn't really jump that much. I wasn't scared, but just seeing the sets, like walking through Stranger Things, I felt like we were in the TV show.
Yeah,
That's
this year
pretty
was
cool.
not one of their better years. I walked out of the house, some of the houses going, it was all right. There were some really, really good ones. Stranger Things house was amazing.
I was going to ask you, can you rank your favorite and least favorite?
I mean, my
I'll
favorite.
let Scott because I don't remember the names of them. 'Cause I was just there for.
I've had a rough week, so I don't remember, but I know that the Last of Us was really good. Stranger Things was really good. Yeti was really good, and Dueling Dragons were really good.
Dueling Dragons was my favorite.
I heard Dueling Dragons. I heard Dueling Dragons.
And Dueling
was
Dragons,
awesome.
what was really cool about that is it brought so many elements of the old Dueling Dragons ride queue into this house. So it was really cool from a nostalgic standpoint to see these elements and to hear some of the lines, because this queue back in the day was this massive queue that nobody had ever done before. I mean, it was this massive. So Dueling Dragons, the queue, it's the Hagrid's ride now. So it was this huge castle that you were going through, so much detail. It was a super long queue, but it was neat. It was very, very neat.
Yeah.
But yeah.
That's
Yeah.
awesome. I heard the Chucky house was one of the
Yeah.
least favorite.
It was
It
cute.
was-
People.
Yeah, exactly.
I heard it was like a trailer for, and like with
Yeah.
spoilers for like the next
It
season
was
of the show or
cute.
something.
That's my takeaway from it.
Yeah. It was, yeah. Yeah, like the whole Halloween Horror Nights in general, like it was a fun night. We had a great time. I'm very glad that we bought the Express Pass. Express Pass gets you basically to the front of the line. So a lot of the lines, like at one point it was 125 minutes for a line. And it takes you, 2 minutes to walk through these
Yeah.
houses. So,
Yeah.
so definitely worth it so that we could skip those waits. We were able to do all 10 of those. Plus, we could use the express passes to ride the
Yeah, you
rides
guys
that were
did a
up in
couple
there as well,
rides,
too.
yeah.
So, yeah. So
What
we're there. What time did it start? Like 6-ish?
Yeah,
Till-
6-ish.
We stayed till midnight.
So the most frustrating thing, Chris, is if you wait till to get to the park when Halloween Horror Nights opens, you're waiting at the front gate for at least 30, 45 minutes to get in because it's just so freaking busy. So I don't do that. I either will wait until 7 or 8 o'clock to enter the park, or I get there early before the park closes and I stay and scream because I'm an annual pass holder. So we go into these lockdown areas. There's 3 lockdown areas in the park where you kind of get corralled in. The cool thing is,
you stay
you
there.
stay there and wait. The cool thing is you get first access to 2 of the houses, and it's different depending on which lockdown area you're in. So even if you don't have express, you get to knock out 2 houses before anybody else does.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
It's really neat. However, things have changed. So there's a couple things that have changed. One, we weren't ready to get locked down yet.
Mhm.
And if you want to eat and not get locked down, you are you're shit out of luck.
Yeah.
Really? There's no restaurants.
Every
or
place
even
we
food
walked
stands
to.
there?
Every restaurant was in the
What?
lockdown area or closed for refurbishment.
Oh,
So
my
we had to
God.
go-
Was the potato cart open?
What's that?
Was the potato cart open?
Later.
I'm sure it was, but we were already past that. We want.
Yeah, I was gonna say the answer was
Of course it's open. It's always open.
365 days a year.
Our choices were the morning cafe or Good Morning Cafe. What is it? Oh, NBC Cafe or whatever.
Yeah.
The turkey leg stand.
To the turkey leg stand, or the Minion Cafe, the brand new Minion Cafe.
Which I heard is horrible.
It was fucking amazing.
It was amazing. It was
What?
Stoners.
It was
What
like
did you get?
paradise.
Well, what did you get?
Yeah.
It is Stoners.
I think I had a
paradise.
barbecue. I had like a barbecue pulled pork sandwich with like some banana fry type things.
So you were to clarify, you were high.
Not yet.
No, I
But
don't think he was yet. No.
Oh.
No. But Scott did get a beer there. So
I
they
did get a
served
beer there. So
Was it banana
no, it's
beer?
regular Bud Light. So here's the interesting thing, which it's gay Bud Light.
So it is a fruity beer.
It's banana beer.
Yeah,
So here's the interesting thing, Chris. So that took the place of Monster Cafe, which was a counter service, quick service type thing. This
Oh, I didn't know that. That's what
it took the place of
That's
Monster
kinda
Cafe,
crazy.
which was
So I had a cult following, right?
yeah.
For these events.
I mean, that's all I heard them talk about the whole time. They're like, this used to be a Monster's Cafe, and over Scott was like, give me a walk on. He's like 10 feet away. There was like 20 tables here.
Oh, I
Table
did.
18 sat here.
Chris,
Like,
I did. I was showing him stuff all night, and I could tell that he was not interested whatsoever. But I just kept going. I was like, "Look, you're a Disney.
I was
nerd, I'm a
interested. I just
Universal
didn't
nerd."
know what you were talking about half the time.
I was like, "Look, back in 1993."
You know, I used to be the skipper on Jaws.
I just said that too. So Minion Cafe, there's no counter. There's no table service. It's all mobile order. It's
Really?
100% mobile order.
That's kind of
It's crazy, but it was so fast.
It was wicked fast. Like,
I mean,
wow, it's like Chat GPT takes your
yeah,
order. Huh?
exactly.
I thought I was fast in bed. This thing was faster. I mean, before I even hit send on my order, they're bringing me my beer and I had like a barbecue.
The guy used to look like the type.
Yeah.
Like, oh, he's gonna order beer.
Here's the funny thing, and this is why I said it's like a stoner's paradise. So I got this like beef and cheddar burger. It was like an Arby's burger, okay, with tater tots. And
Oh wow, sounds delicious.
Oh, yeah, that's what
yeah. The tater tots were minion shaped, but this beef and cheddar burger comes out, or beef and cheddar sandwich comes out, and it's got the cheese on it. But then it also has this like squeezable vial that's like stuck into the burger
pretty cool.
with cheese in it, and you squeeze it into
wow.
infuse it into the sandwich. It was really really
It was good.
You said the tater tots are minion shaped. Aren't minions shaped like tater tots? I feel like that's a cop out.
No, they
No,
like had
they were
holes
big.
for their eyes and everything.
Oh,
Yeah.
Did you feel bad eating them? I'd feel kind of like
I was too drunk
like
to feel bad.
cannibalism.
Normally I would. I don't like to,
Yeah.
see.
Yeah. Remember, Chris, this is like 5 o'clock we're talking about. He's already about 15 beers in.
I was
That's
very
low actually
Yeah.
for 5 o'clock.
Yeah, I was in deep at that
Well,
point.
because everything was closed, so he couldn't find beer.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah.
Oh, I found beer. The beer
Well-
carts that was easy.
Anyway, Nick, any closing things about this trip? It sounds amazing. Sounded amazing.
I mean, overall, it was an amazing time. It was awesome. We met up with a lot of friends when we were in Florida.
That's
we,
always
we did
fun.
we did a monorail crawl on Wednesday night when you guys were recording.
Nice.
So
nice.
we made it
Fuck
halfway.
us, right?
Well, we made it halfway around the monorail. We didn't get very far, but we did have a lot to drink. I actually recorded something on my phone. I haven't even listened to it yet, but I was messaging Ryan, and I'm like, wouldn't it be funny if I recorded a monorail segment, kind of like what you guys do on the disses, while I'm actually on the monorail? So I recorded it. I'm going to send it to you. I haven't even listened to it yet, but because I was intoxicated. So it could be usable. It could be just entertainment. So
Might just be for personal use.
yeah. So we had a good time. Met up with a lot of friends. Got to meet Scott finally. So it was awesome to grab his ass and make out with him a little bit. And
Chris, it was. You know what's funny is it's just like the first time that we met in person. I mean, this was the first time meeting in person, but it was just like, oh yeah, we're friends from way back.
Yeah, just
I
no
just haven't
awkwardness.
seen you in
It's
a
just-
while. It was.
I mean, we held each other's dicks while we peed. I mean, just the usual, right?
I gotta tell you though that I felt like the ugly duckling. Like everybody in Nick's and Sean's group were all hot. Like everybody's hot. His cousin's hot. Their friend, and her husband. Everybody's hot.
My cousin is single, by the way, if anybody's looking. So
Oh, and was Scott? And for the record, I just want to know: was Scott the only one wearing cargo shorts?
Yeah.
I didn't even look at the shorts. So what's funny is when we first went to meet him, he texted me because we rode the water taxi because we're fancy from our hotel to Universal. And he's like, "Hey, I'm at the boat dock waiting on you guys." And I told my cousins and my Sean, I'm like, "Okay, we're looking out for a creepy guy in a fedora." He wasn't wearing the fedora. He was just the creepy guy. So
Just the creepy.
Just the creepy guy that was waiting right at the boat ramp.
before they met up with Scott, like, listen, guys, he's got a great personality.
just he's a little special. Just treat him well.
Sean reminded me at one point, it was so fucking hot, Chris, that we're all sweating. Sean's tit sweat, it made a smiley face on his shirt.
Yeah.
I was like, oh,
Yeah,
you
hey,
got
listen,
a smiley face.
We've all been there.
Yeah.
We've all been there. And by we, I mean me this last year.
Well,
I've been
that's
there
the word.
Scott,
very
what was your first impression of meeting me, though?
Oh, that's a good question.
You were exactly what I expected. You walked the way that I expected you to walk. You talked, everything about you. It was so, I always say it's so crazy that we take for granted, when we talk all the time, we take for granted that we've never met in person. It was just so cool to hang out with you in person, rather than just doing this. I tend to get annoying when I drink, so I was very conscious of that. I don't think I succeeded. I think I was still annoying, but I felt really bad. I didn't want to leave you guys, but also Michaela and I were so tired. And there was a lot of
you guys.
No.
No, these gays.
No, there was, and there was a little bit of drama leading into the evening that I was mentally drained before I even got to Horror Night. So, it's just it was really cool to hang out with you, though. It was awesome.
Yeah, we had a great time, and yeah, like I said, it was an awesome trip. We're very exhausted. My watch was very confused because it's like,
right,
you're walking way too much.
You've hit 1,000% of your move goal.
Yeah,
it's funny. Chris gets up and goes to the refrigerator, and he hits 1,000% of his move goal for the day.
I'm like, oh shit!
Yeah.
I'm ahead of schedule. I hope to have the same experience, hopefully in the near future, visiting you and Sean in your home state. You guys, I don't know if there's haunted houses in my neighborhood. I don't know if there's any in your neighborhood. So maybe we just do something else.
we got some good ones here, and especially there's like a tuberculosis hospital that's haunted here, like some
that'd be
like real
nice.
deep like haunted stuff. So
Is Susie
that's-
there from the Carousel Progress?
she might be.
We will bring our. I have our resident demonologist on speed dial so before we go.
We haven't played that interview yet. Nobody gets that reference except for us.
That was just for you guys. I think about him every day. Well, Nick, I'm glad you had such a good time. I'm glad that you were able to make it out alive meeting Scott, because that's a lot. No, I'm kidding.
He's a good guy, and we loved it.
Thank you.
We have an amazing group. I'm very privileged to be friends with you guys. Very excited to meet. I cannot wait for the day for us to all be together in person together. I think it might be the end of the world when we all meet.
It'll be a
together.
badass day for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. With all that being said, Scott, can you do you have any summaries for us?
I do.
Oh gosh. But you know what, guys? We haven't mentioned that it's my birthday week too.
We haven't.
Jeez. Our birthday month.
I just figured
When does
everyone
this air?
knew.
This is next week. I don't even
This
know
is
what
next
day
week,
it is
yeah.
anymore. But
Yeah,
it's my birthday month still,
27th.
so technically.
Yeah.
So happy birthday to me. Thank you.
Happy birthday to you. I thought I said in the beginning I must have You know, oh, you know what? I see it was the one paper of my notes that fell on the floor. It did say, mention Nick's birthday month. So I'm sorry. It clumsy me.
A good friend like me remembers and does a whole montage clip. I don't have to put it on notes. All right. So we started off with the episode, and I thought to myself, here we go again. Chris is talking about owning his own business. How many times do I have to tell you, stealing the catalytic converters off from under your neighbor's cars is not a goddamn business?
To each their own.
Nick got an unfortunate call from Virgin. Well, 24 years ago, I also got an unfortunate call from a Virgin. Just kidding. I love you, Darren. Nick was on the...
Sorry, that was good.
Nick was on the phone with Virgin. I completely misunderstood. I didn't realize he was talking about the cruise company. I thought he was on the phone with a sophisticated gentleman.
Aww.
Oh my God.
We love you.
Nick was telling us that the cruise cancellation ruined a couple's honeymoon. I can relate. Marrying my wife ruined her honeymoon. When Nick was talking about the cancellations, Chris dropped in with because the ship hit an iceberg. Chris, how's your hip from that ship hitting you?
He tore his Achilles, didn't you know that?
No idea. Nick said, once you get on board, all your worries go away. Words that Chris hears all too often from Nick.
It's true.
It's painfully true.
Just a little bit of poppers. That's all you need.
That's what I was laughing about. Wait, when he said that, I immediately thought of that joke and I lost it. Nick was very upset with Virgin. 24 years ago, I was also upset with a Virgin. Oh, wait, I already did that joke. My bad.
I'm a sucker for repeated jokes. I am a huge sucker for that.
Nick spoke to a lot of supervisors, and their supervisors. I'm sold on using a travel agent at this point. So check out Sandpiper Vacations and make sure you ask for vacation planning Karen. Unfortunately, the Splash of Romance package was not available. Chris's Splash of Romance package is always available for Nick. And finally, Nick mentioned that he's a Super Mario fan. This comes as no surprise to me. A man high on mushrooms sliding in and out of pipes does kind of sound like his thing.
Did Ryan write that one?
Yes.
Because that doesn't sound like it. I think you're right.
And those are my summaries.
Oh man.
I love a good mushroom.
There was a good mix of both him and me in there.
This week. Sounds like paradise.
I don't know where to go from there.
Well, if you don't know where to go but want to go somewhere, reach out to Nick at sandpipervacations.com. He'll tell you where the hell to go. He'll plan it for you. I guess that's all I want to say ending this episode is if you think what Nick said was super cool and you're jealous, you don't have to be. You can go to sandpipervacations.com. He'll plan it all for you. It's market research for him. It's not really a vacation. It's work.
And
it's very hard.
And we are hiring more travel advisors. So if you want to, do it for a living or as a side job, we are hiring. So
wow, that's great to know. So now double if you want to go on a vacation. If you want to make going on vacation your job, reach out to Nick at Sandpiper Vacations as well.
Do you provide dental?
I might fill out an application. He provides oral.
I was going to say oral. Damn. Beat me to it.
I'm really good at beating Nick to things. Usually to a finish. All right, well, that's all for us tonight. I hope you enjoyed tonight's episode. On behalf of Scott and Nick, I'm Chris. Have a great week. Now, Nick, didn't ask you this yet, but we were talking about it today. Are you busy next Wednesday at around 6:30 for Diz's?
He already messaged me, so yes, I'm going to be doing it.
Oh, perfect.
Grand
For Grand
Floridian.
Floridian, yeah. And we want you to recap your Coast to Coast tour too.
Sweet. So I can't make dick jokes on there, though.
Obviously, have to remit the Universal. No, you make dick jokes. No, nothing about Universal. Yeah, dick jokes are all game, but no Universal.
Yeah. Yeah, you can't go on to a Disney history podcast talking about Universal.
Yeah.
No,
That's
no,
bad.
that's way worse than a dick joke.
Skiing is fine.
This guy Disney treats me better.
Tell them
so-
about the poppers. They'll love to hear that.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
Our audience needs to be
Mary Poppers.
No New Friends After Dark has been brought to you by Sandpiper Vacations. SandpiperVacations.com. Just check out our website, NoNewFriendsPodcast.com. Become a friend with benefits. Check out our sweet merch and so much more. This has been a No New Friends Entertainment LLC production.